Hey everyone, it's Laura. Welcome to Mask Monday. As you can see, I have my mask on already, and I did cut off the middle piece, but I missed part of it, and it keeps going in my mouth, so I tucked it under. The mask I have on today is this Creme Shop Be Clear Skin. It's an animated kitten mask because I broke out a couple of days ago, and I haven't had a breakout in a few months, but I have like a little cluster right here, which I've been treating it, with some acne medicine, but I just thought I would do this to get like whatever toxins are in my skin the heck out. So, and I am on my couch and I have Miss Coco here with me. You'll be able to see her in a minute. She'll pop her little head up, but um, just wanted to be comfortable. So that's why I'm down here. And I hope everybody had a great weekend and a great week. Mine was not the greatest, so I will talk about that. The weekend was fine. Yesterday, I'm filming this Sunday night. Saturday, I was very tired and exhausted and did next to nothing. I finally got up at like 6 o'clock and forced myself to go to the grocery store to get some groceries. So I made up for lost time today. I've been cleaning and relaxing all day and doing a little self-care, hanging out with my little girl and the kitties. But the reason why I was so stressed and needed the self-care was from our trip to Appleton last week. So I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 videos that you saw last week. I had Ulta part 1 and 2 and Sephora. Maybe it was just those 3. I had filmed those all the Saturday prior. So not 2 days ago Saturday, the previous Saturday. Because Sunday we went out of town. We went up to Appleton for this charity softball game we go to every year, and we brought Coco with. The game was fine. She had a great time in the car. The hotel was pet friendly. All that was fine. But she gave us a health scare in the middle of the night, Sunday night / Monday morning. About 1 a.m., Ricky woke me up screaming, honey, there's something wrong with Bean. Her nickname is Bean. Coco, Coco Bean, Beaner. She has a million nicknames. And I jumped up, threw off my CPAP mask because I was in like REM cycle. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. She was having a seizure. Coco has never had a seizure in her entire puppy life. Have you, baby girl? She is 6, and this is by far the healthiest dog I've ever had. I mean, I've only had one other dog as an adult that was my dog, but like even all my childhood dogs and my parents' dogs, they've all had like my previous dog, he had tons of health issues with like allergies and itching all the time, and we had to try different food. It just was, and then he just had a lot of problems. This dog, since I've had her, like I said, she's 6. I think she has thrown up maybe 5 times in her entire life, literally. And it's only when she eats too fast. She's just never sick. She's never even had diarrhea. So needless to say, we freaked out. She was convulsing and, doing this with her front and back legs and shaking and foaming at the mouth and, making a horrible, horrible sound that sounded like she was choking. That lasted for about a minute, and then when she came out of it, she was just laying there. We had picked her up and put her in the bed with us, and we were trying to like pet her and calm her down, and she just laid there like wouldn't move. Her eyes were open, and Ricky started crying because I think he thought she was no longer, she was. I said, no, she's breathing. You could see her chest going up and down. That part lasted for about another minute. She woke up. She was giving us kisses, running around, wanted to play. We took her outside to go to the bathroom because she wanted to go potty. So we were like, what the heck? So, of course, we laid there talking about it. What do we think happened? And maybe she got into something at the hotel. It's supposed to be pet friendly, but who knows what they clean with? Maybe there's toxic chemicals. Maybe there's something in the grass outside where we were told to walk her. Maybe they treated the grass with the pesticide. Because Ricky said he had noticed she was licking one of the pillows on the couch because we had like a little suite. I said, yeah, maybe. And so I said, well, let's try to get some sleep. And then, we'll go home in the morning and, like we had originally planned to, and hopefully she'll be okay. And finally at about like 7 a.m., I said to him, you're not sleeping, are you? And he said, no. And I said, I'm not either. Every time I would close my eyes, I kept picturing it again. And I said, I know you're not going to like this idea because we were going to, originally, before all this happened, going to try to get a late checkout so that he could get some sleep because he's used to, being up till like 4 in the morning and sleeping till 1. I said, why don't we just go get coffee or breakfast or whatever, and then just get going. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So we got up and started moving around and went down to the lobby, they had free breakfast at the hotel and got our coffee. I had breakfast. I was in the bathroom and I hear Ricky yelling, "It's happening again." I'm like, I was literally in the middle of going to the bathroom and I tried to hurry up, got out there. Same thing as last time. She was laying in her bed because we had brought her dog bed with us, food, water, all that stuff. She was having another seizure. So we were just like holding her, telling her it's going to be okay. This time when she came out of it, she got combative. She tried to bite us. She was thrashing around. So I put her on the ground because we had picked her up and put her on the bed. So I put her on the floor, I should say. And then she started running and she hit the wall and it was super scary. And Ricky's screaming, "Get her, get her, get her." I'm like, "No, leave her alone. You're scaring her." Because she's obviously altered. She doesn't know where she is right now. Screaming at her and running towards her and trying to get her is the worst thing you could do. But I think he was afraid she was going to hurt herself more by bumping into things and he wanted to corner her. Well, she ended up running into the bathroom and going under the vanity because the vanity was one of those free floating ones. It was about this high off the floor. So she had plenty of room to scooch under there. I said, just leave her there. Let her calm down. Remember last time it took a minute or two and then she was back to normal. He's like, "I'm going to go pack the car." He was so mad. I don't know if he was mad at me or I think he was just frustrated. I said, "Okay, that's a good idea. I'll finish packing too." So I finished packing and I closed the bathroom door, but about this much. And I turned the light off because I remember my childhood best friend's dog had seizures and they would always turn the lights off in the room to keep them calm. So I wanted it to be dark in there because I don't know, even with humans with epilepsy, flashing lights can trigger it. Not that there were any lights flashing, but I just wanted it dark. Anyway, so I was packing up stuff and even though we were only gone for a night, we had brought a bunch of crap. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see her little head poking out from under. Hi, sweetie. She's looking at me right now. Poking out from under the vanity in the bathroom. So she's poking her little head out. I said, "Come here, baby." And she came over and she was giving me kisses and it was everything was perfectly normal. So we hightailed it the heck out of that hotel because I'm like, there's something in this hotel. We got to get out of here. We got to get home. So we left there. It was a little after 8 by the time we got going and whatever. We came home, unpacked, fed the cats, did all that stuff. And then I was we were both exhausted because, come here, baby. She wants to say hi. Neither one of us had slept more than maybe an hour the night before. I mean, I literally felt like a zombie and I hadn't slept good the night before either because I had a lot of stuff I had to do to get ready to leave on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. But anyway, so we decided to go lay down and take a nap about 11:30 or so. And I think we had set an alarm for 2 just so that we wouldn't sleep all afternoon. And around 1 o'clock, I had woken up to go to the bathroom and we had put her in bed with us and she started to have another seizure. And this was at home in our house. So I woke Ricky up. I'm like, she's having another one, And so this time we just held her. We kept it really quiet and it was dark in the room because we have room darkening blinds and, we didn't have a light on or anything. And this time she came out of it really fast, much faster than the previous 2. The worst one was the second one. The first one was the scariest one because we had never seen it before. The second one, when she came out of it, was the worst because she was thrashing and biting and she is the sweetest baby. I mean, she's literally never bit anybody or anything other than food. I mean, she's just the sweetest little girl, aren't you, maybe? So after that one, I said, that's it. I'm calling the vet, which I probably should have called when we first got home. But we literally were so tired that we weren't thinking clearly. So I called our vet, talked to, very nice receptionist. And she said, we don't have any appointments available. Of course they don't. She said, but let me talk to one of our techs. And so she put me on hold. She came back and she said, because her seizures were less than 2 minutes, it's not really in the danger zone where it can cause brain damage or whatever. She goes, so I think she'd be fine to bring her in tomorrow morning. And I'm like, absolutely not. We're taking her to the emergency vet. There is no way we're not going to get any rest. We're going to just sit here and worry and constantly stare at her and wait for her to have another one. I said, no, I'm sorry. I want to have her checked out and make sure, that she didn't get into some toxins or something like that. So we had to call 3 different emergency vets before we could even find one that could take her in. But we did find one. We took her there immediately. We were there by 3 o'clock or something. So I don't mean to, it was pretty quickly. It's 30 minutes from our house by the time we found one and got there. Anyway, it was 3 o'clock. The vet we saw was very, very nice. He said, we'll start, blood work right away. You wait here. We waited out in the lobby, and he said it might be a couple hours. It wasn't quite that long though. I'd say it was maybe an hour, but it really wasn't that bad. So he came and got us, after the blood work came back. He said there was negative for toxins, which is good in that she wasn't poisoned, but bad in that we'll never know probably what caused her seizures. And he said, he has a dog that has seizures, and they can do CAT scans now on dogs and more extensive testing. And he said, I'm a vet, so I did all that for my dog, and we still couldn't find out what caused my dog's seizures. And his dog is on seizure medicine, has been for years. So he said, that's what I would recommend, is you put her on phenobarbital. It requires overnight hospitalization just to get the meds on board and monitor her, because it is a barbiturate. Otherwise, there is a newer seizure medicine, and I don't remember the name of it, that you give them twice a day. It's a pill, and you could give it to her and take her home, but then you've got to be awake 24. I'm like, we can't. We're walking zombies. And I said, and we're not vets, and you guys are 30 minutes away. I'd rather do it here. I'm not even talking about how much it costs, because we're still figuring out. We paid for it, but how we're going to pay the rest of our bills now that we paid for that. But that's another story. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just saying it was very, very expensive. We're not going to go into that. So we left her there. He said, we'll call you if something happens, but no news is good news. Otherwise, we'll call you in the morning with an update. So we went home. We got some food. I didn't have much appetite. I really just picked at my food. Ricky ate just fine, though. That man can eat no matter what. He couldn't sleep, but he could eat. I actually slept like a zombie that night. I passed out. I was probably overwhelmed and just exhausted. So I finally got some sleep. When I woke up on Tuesday morning, which by the way was Ricky's birthday, so all this happened around his birthday. Woke up Tuesday morning, the vet had left a message. It wasn't the same vet we saw the night before. It was, a different one. They have different ones on different shifts. And she said, Coco did great overnight. She's been on the medicine. She hasn't had any seizures since she's been here. If all goes well, she should be able to come home this afternoon if you want to call us back around 2:00. And she said, other than me wanting to take her home with me, everything's going great. And I said, of course, because Coco's the sweetest. She loves people so, so much. All my friends and family members that have met her adore her, because she's just the snuggliest, most affectionate dog I've ever had. Constantly gives kisses, wants to sit in your lap. Everybody loves her. So she was all over the vet, I guess, and just was giving her loving. So we went there, we called her 2:00. They said, she's great, come get her. So we went and got her. They warned us she might be a little zombie-like. She might be a little groggy. She might not be as excited to see you as normal. She was like normal. Ran right over to us, jumping up and down. We're trying to keep her calm, They said that the food will make her ravenously hungry, which she always is anyway, and extremely thirsty. So that's what we have noticed. Extremely thirsty and peeing like crazy. And when she does pee, it's clear, which is great. But yeah, so we use pee pads anyway, and we do walk her. So we're constantly changing her pee pads because she's going like crazy. So we have a water fountain in the kitchen plus a water bowl, and then we have a water bowl upstairs in our bedroom, and then pee pads up there because so she sees her regular vet a week from Wednesday. So next week Wednesday, I think that's the 21st or something like that. So since we don't know what caused the seizures, I don't know if he's going to say maybe it was a stress and anxiety thing, because that can cause them, or if it's epilepsy and she's going to have these forever. I'm hoping he's going to say that maybe we can try tapering her off and see what happens. And if she doesn't have any more, then maybe she doesn't need to be on those meds, because those meds can affect their liver. And now she has to go get her liver function tested every 6 months, which isn't a big deal, but epilepsy shortens a pet's lifespan. So I'm hoping that that's not what the case is. I did reach out to the parents of her litter mates, because we still are in contact with them. She was a triplet, one of 3. She's staring at me. And neither one of them has ever had any seizures. And from my understanding, it tends to run in families, at least in humans. I'm not sure about in dogs. But I'm going to share that information with my vet. Obviously, I'm not going to do anything until he gives the clearance, because we only talk to the emergency vet. Everybody has an opinion. You know what they say about opinions. Some of my coworkers are like, oh, you know, one of my friend's dogs has seizures and he gives him this supplement and he's never had them again. And I'm like, I am not doing any of that unless my vet says he thinks that's a good idea. I'm not taking any chances with this girl because she's the best girl in the whole wide world and we would be lost without her. And I love her to death. Hi, come here. Did you see her head pop up? She's so sweet. And it was the scariest thing in the world, you guys. I try not to relive it. I didn't even go into all the detail of what it was like. It was just horrible. I try not to think about it. It took a couple of nights. I mean, I did sleep good that one night when she was at the vet, only because I was just exhausted. But the next couple of nights after that, when I would go to close my eyes, I would picture it again. And it finally started, that picture in my mind finally started to fade away after a few days. It's been almost a week now. So by the time you see this, it has been a week. And I do want to say, I appreciate all the well wishes that I'm assuming are coming, but a caveat, a disclaimer, if you have a story, you know someone, or it happened to you, of a person that has a pet that had seizures and did not have a good outcome, seriously guys, I don't want to hear about it. Please, I beg of you, please don't put that in the comments. I will delete them. Please don't. If you already wrote something like that, go up to your comment, those three little dots, you can hit edit or you can hit delete and change it. I'm not trying to be mean, but people tend to say stuff like that and not think about it and don't realize what harm it causes. And I probably could handle it, but Ricky watches my videos and he sometimes reads my comments and he can't. So please don't, please be sensitive. If you can't think of anything, a positive story to share about this type of situation, then just don't share it. Easy. It's easy to do. I know that people don't mean harm, like I said, generally when they say stuff like that, but it's not helpful. So that's just my little caveat. I hope it didn't come across as rude. I'm just trying to be firm. So thank you in advance. My little girl is doing okay. I will update you guys after she sees the vet next week on Wednesday. I mean, she's great other than peeing like crazy and driving us nuts. Right, baby? No seizures since then. Now, she could have had some when we were at that game. We don't know. Like, you know, we only know about the 3 that happened when we were there. So I don't know. And, oh, by the way, bringing her with me was my boss's idea. She feels horrible. So, and I know you guys don't know her, and I don't even want to say her name or the place where I work, but maybe just send some good vibes out to her. She's a sweetheart. She's like, oh my gosh, she was almost crying. I'm like, it's not your fault. You didn't know. And we don't even know if the hotel caused it. I'm leaning towards it did, because she literally has no other symptoms or never had anything ever happen like that in her life. The first vet we saw at the emergency vet said, well, they have to start sometime. You know, like it's her age, she's 6. He said that's not uncommon for epilepsy to start at that age. I said, but to have 3 in a 12-hour period around the same time that we took her to a strange hotel and then left her in the hotel while we went to a baseball game. Granted, we were with her for about an hour before we left, but you know, an hour to a dog is like 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But anyway, my boss felt terrible about it. And then I felt terrible that she felt terrible. And it was a whole thing. She's an absolute sweetheart and she's a dog lover. So I know she felt bad. But anyway, I'm going to go. This is falling off of my face. Thank you for watching, guys. Sorry this is so rambly, but I wanted to let you know what was going on. And if you saw me posting videos last week, it wasn't like, yay, nothing's wrong. It's because I had pre-filmed those the week before, which actually turned out to be a good thing. So I do have a couple of things coming up this week. My Walmart box shipped and my Ipsy. So I'm hoping they come this week. So I'll have that for you guys. So thanks for watching. Have a happy Mask Monday. And I'll see you in my next video. Oh, and thank you, Andy, for this mask. I love it. Even though it's falling off, that's not your fault. It's because it's been 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going now. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.